Hello everyone, hope you're having a fantastic day. Today we're going to start out with Margrat Custom Deliveries, but before that, let's head on over to Margrat and see what kind of mental breakdown she's going to have today. I should only need to do the 3 of them, and then I forget what stuff were we making last week. Let's pull up her deliveries. That's right, we were making some eye stuff for the person who was working too hard, which could be for any of these Charlian scientists. Let's go ahead and make it. Let's see, Margrat and energizing eye elixir. Should just be able to. Oh, I can't actually have to think. And by think I mean do the same rotation that I do for everything. Yeah, this is right. Or not. Okay, hold on. Okay, let's try this again. Clearly, I'm not going to need a veneration for this. I do 2 of these. And great strides and Margrat's blessing. That should be enough. Yep. And just repeat that 2 more times. And we're done. Alright, Margrat, I've got your special eye drops. Or rather, I don't remember the other person was. A pleasure, as always, my lady of peerless procurement. Have you anything to soothe Grondevelt's tired eyes? Yes, I do. Go ahead and turn these in. I believe we read this last week. Or not last week, I guess it was the week before, wasn't it? Because I ended up taking a week off. Do you normally... Yeah, this is the same thing as usual. Right then, I do believe we've accumulated sufficient succor for our bleary blinking comrade. I shall be back anon. Look, wouldn't you say Grondevelt's eyes glimmer with renewed vitality? I sincerely doubt they look any different, but the efficacy of the items you provided is undeniable. I've suffered fewer headaches, and my vision does seem clearer. I dare say this newfound comfort will enable me to execute my work with even greater precision. You have been a boon to me and my team. Out of curiosity, why so much intense squinting of late? It must be awfully delicate stuff to tax your eyesight so. Indeed it is. Our current assignment is complicated, sometimes punishingly so, but we are resolved to see it through. You see, during the Ark's conversion to the Ragnarok, I spoke with Luminzen architects come to deliver. I spoke with Luminzen arcanists, not architects. That makes a lot more sense. I spoke with Luminzen arcanists come to deliver supplies. It wasn't long before we discovered, to our mutual delight, the uncanny similarities between arcanium and systems aetherology. Arcane geometries were first conceived as a means to perceive and manipulate etheric energy in specific natural environments, namely those of the South Sea Isles, the presumed birthplace of arcanium. But while our regulators were designed to serve a rather different purpose, the underlying principles of their operation are more or less the same. Now that we needn't concern ourselves with the end of civilization, we're free to engage in joint research with our friends in the Arcanist Guild. Sounds like our arrangement with Garland Ironworks. What is your current objective? We seek to incorporate analytical and conditional branching functionalities into a framework utilizing arcane geometries. By iterating this process, we hope to produce a single comprehensive system capable of heretofore unrealized feat. Okay. capable of automatically heating foodstuffs to optimal temperature for consumption. So they're making microwaves, okay? What did you just say? You mean our days of eating cold Archon burgers would be over? Your arcane whatsits would be able to restore them to their original juicy glory? Okay, now I'll give you as many eye drops as you want if you're gonna make me perfect microwave. Mankind need never suffer cold burgers again. I think actually it's the bun that you need to worry about with how it gets all soggy and mushy after you warm it up. Or just bread in general, I guess. Margrat has blessed you with his genius, Grondevelt. The world will never be the same after your etheric food warmer is complete. You agree, don't you, Brilliant? Oh yeah. Brilliant? Why is that name so familiar? Oh dear. About that, I should have mentioned sooner, but Brilliant is Brilliant Mason of the Scions, well, former Scions. One of the heroes who traveled aboard the Ragnarok to the end of the known universe. Margrat, I expected more from you, of all people. You have let me in ignorance impose upon the goodwill of such an esteemed personage. I mean, bro, you're making perfect microwaves. I'm more than happy to get you a couple eye drops. I understand how you feel. I do. That's why I just wanted everyone to get to know her. What the heck, did Margrat actually have good intentions this whole time? And it wasn't just that she was having mental breakdowns? No, I think she was still having mental breakdowns, but maybe she has some good intentions masked in there. Or mixed in there. Not as a hero on a pedestal whom we would never dare to approach, but as a person, like you and me. And I wanted her to get to know everyone, too. The nameless faces that worked so hard to make her journey possible, and to raise their voices and cheer at her triumphant return. How nice. Now, when are you gonna have another mental breakdown? I suppose we would be glad for a few further donations, should she be willing and able to oblige us. My laboratory would, of course, contribute to her due compensation as well. Until next time, then, and thank you, Brilliant, for everything. That turned out a bit nicer and good-hearted than I expected from Margrat. Alright, that wraps up the last one. Margrat now considers you an irreplaceable comrade. Margrat could not be happier with your efforts. She now considers you an irreplaceable comrade. Through your efforts, many dedicated intellectuals have found comfort and respite. It seems, however, that Margrat has something on her mind. Alright, then we got one more blue quest to do for her. New quest continuing Margaret's work in Charlie and Hamlin is now available. Upon its completion, the Margrat custom deliveries will be updated. Okay, let's go ahead and do that. The Pride of Labyrinthos. I don't actually know what reward we get from this, but we'll see. Margrat is thoughtfully observing her surroundings. I see the parade of disgruntled petitioners marching into Thesaurus has come to an end. All thanks to you, I'd wager. Common scripts seem far too impersonal reward for such a feat, which is why I've secretly prepared you something else. Oh, what is it, Margrat? But before I hand over the goods, I was hoping you might pay Theopoland a visit. Apparently, he needs your assurance that I haven't been an overbearing taskmaster. Margrat, I can't help you in that regard. A pity he's never shown a fraction of that concern for how we've suffered under the yoke or lifted a finger to reform Thesaurus' broken policy. But what would I know? Anyway, he should be in Aporia. If you take pity on the old man, no rest for the compassionate, eh? Alright. Head on over to Aporia. Talk to Theopoldin. Yeah, so Margaret had like 3 mental breakdowns in the course of that quest line. I think you should probably maybe think about what that she might be undergoing a little bit of stress. Anyway, you got any more stories about Fortunal, but if I may ask? Ah, I see Margaret saw fit to release you from her grasp. Thank you for stopping by. I understand that you ended up fulfilling not only her requests, but those of a number of other researchers in Charlene Hamlet. Though I and many others appreciate the lengths to which you have gone on our behalf, I do hope you did not find the experience too vexing. I mean, I got a lot of crafting XP and scripts, so I can't really complain. On the contrary, your researchers are a delight. Right. That's so not vexing as much as taxing, but well worth the scripts. Oh yeah, that's for sure. I'm relieved you found the arrangement agreeable. I shudder to think of what complaints the twins might lodge should they suspect we were abusing your time or generosity. I suppose I should have known my fears would be unfounded. Margaret would be the last person to willingly aggravate a brilliant Mason after all. I bet she's like #1 fan. Well, I guess she's #3 behind Xenos, Graha, and Alize. So I guess she's #4. I mean, Xenos is dead, so I guess all of them moved up, so whatever. Hers is but one small tale from the final days. Perhaps inconsequential compared to some, yet significant in its own way. With the appearances of the realm's first blasphemy in Rad's Adhan, our steady construction of the Ark became a mad race to the finish. Then the Aetherburner was enhanced, enabling our ship to become a star-faring vessel that would bear the Scions to the very edge of existence. And as our aims shifted to accommodate the escalating threat to our star, many who helped construct the Ragnarok suffered under the weight of the psychological burden, well that's for sure. Of course, the Ragnarok's construction was a collaborative effort, made possible only by advanced Lopert technology and resources sourced from all across the world. But rare was the soul among us who never considered the darkest possibilities, crushed as we were by nigh endless labor. What if I've made a mistake? What if my error proves fatal for us all? Margaret was no different, and though the stress drove her into a state of delirium at the time, I think it's more like madness, but okay. After the Ragnarok departed, well, it was difficult to watch. Insomnia, loss of appetite, frequent and spontaneous fits of crying, yeah, we've seen that. Anything she did manage to eat typically didn't stay down for long. She was inconsolable until the Ragnarok returned safely, and for a period after as well. Hers was not a unique condition. The severity varied by person, but all our researchers struggled in the same fashion as the final days wore on, but not Fortunate because he didn't actually help with anything. That is why your journey and your homecoming hold so much significance for them. You are living proof that everything we endured held meaning. Shockingly easy to forget sometimes, so thank you for spending so much time with us. I mean, if I want my scripts and XP, I better do it. But the past is past, and our memories do not justify the misuse of your time and energy. Should it ever be too much, I implore you say no to Margaret and the others. They will understand. Now then, I hope you continue to enjoy the wonders that only Labyrinthos, vortex of the unassailable intellect and irrepressible emotion, can provide. That's not how I would describe it, but okay. Alright, I guess let's head on back to Margaret then. So Margaret, I heard you're like #3 fan or something? Or I guess that's like every single Charlene scientist, isn't it? Boy, did Theopoldin talk. He sure told me about all the crazy things that happened to you. Although we kind of saw the results of that. Welcome back. I take it you found Theopoldin. I have your special gift here. If you're in need of a palate cleanser, here you go. From my heart to yours. Let's see, it's probably glam, but we'll see. That, my friend, is a gleaner's uniform. Oh, okay. Dyed a particularly exquisite shade. I think you'll like it. I wasn't sure what to get you, but since you are my personal gleaner, what would be better than bespoke clothing? So, I leaned on a few contacts and called in some favors, and voila, fashion. If it's not too much trouble, would you try it on for me? I'd like to think my measurements were accurate, but you can never be too sure. Use the storage facility when you're ready to change and come find me by the Aetherite when you've finished. Sure, let's do it. Of course, everybody probably saw Arnvald's outfit and they're like, I want that as glam. And then they're like, here you go. I like the style, but I don't like the color. I wish it was just like the normal green, I think. You know, green for a glean. Or I think it's like a dark green. Ahem. Testing, testing. Greetings, comrades of Labyrinthos. It is I, Margrat, propulsion aetherologist, coming to you with a very special announcement. Uh-oh, what's she gonna do? Some of you may have noticed a distinguished-looking lady standing by the Aetherite in Charlene Hamlet. Margaret, what are you doing? Who is she, you ask? Why, none other than the one of the brave souls we entrusted to Ragnarok, Brilliant Mason. Uh-oh. Now, I've realized that some of you may feel compelled to smother her with questions and affection. However, I must insist that you rein in those impulses and approach, should you elect to do so, with a surplus of restraint and respect. Margaret, no! Look for the lovely Viero. Oh, that actually that changes according to your race. Okay. Wearing the blue uniform. Remember, seize the moment, not the gleaner. Margaret. Did she say Brilliant Mason? Or am I hallucinating? I have to pay more respect. I must. Just press F. Where did she say? Oh no. Margaret, what have you done? Look, a blue gleaner's uniform. There! Oh no! This is almost as bad as the Andin's finale, where he started heading towards the thing, but then he found his sister, and she's like, "I don't think you want to do that." Pardon me. Are you Brilliant Mason by any chance? No, I'm not. She was talking about another Vera. Yeah. Definitely. Also, is that Theopoldin standing back there? Oh, you're rather different than I imagined. What did you think I was? You don't feel irregular, do you? After your travels, are you well? Well, now that my introverted mind is surrounded by a bunch of people, I'm kind of want to scream, but I'll hold it in. Oh, I'm so glad. We're doing quite well too. I mean, I'm glad. He's right though. Thanks to you, we're living out our lives and continuing our research with nary an apocalypse in sight. Well, that's true. Our experiences working on the Ragnarok has proven instrumental in our current prospects. Once you've sent a ship to Ultima Thule, nothing feels too intimidating to try. Not to mention the complete impossibility of pursuing our passions, and we succumbed to meteors, blasphemies, or gods know what else. Thank you for your service and your bravery. Okay, but do I get scripts for this? Oh, that's the Viera. Okay, those are the people that I helped there. Not the Viera, the Aura girl that we'd helped. Sorry. Easier to ask forgiveness than permission to go, and so forth. I had hoped you might get a chance to chat, is all. When you and your fellows launched the Ragnarok and took to the heavens, you placed your faith in our work. And what else could I have done? I can't build a spaceship. Maybe you didn't have a choice. Maybe that was truly the last option left to mankind. I mean, yeah. What else were you gonna do? But you, and the rest of the Scions on board that ship, meant everything to us. Your safe return meant everything to us. We all gave the Ragnarok strict instructions, you see. We told her to spare nothing in bringing you back, even if it meant falling apart in the process. And the old girl listened. Belated though the fanfare may be, allow us to officially welcome you home, Brilliant Mason. You are and always will be the pride of Labyrinthos. As such, we have one final question for you. Would you say it was a smooth ride? I don't know, I was unconscious for the ride back, so couldn't really give you an idea. And then on the way there, we got stopped by Meteon. So it's not, I don't exactly have a good idea. To the end of eternity and back, smooth as butter. We made it home alive thanks to you, and we'll just say that. Don't worry, Margaret, your mental breakdowns were worth it. Probably. That's all we ever wanted. That was nice, a lot more wholesome than I expected. I thought we'd get another one of Margaret's breakdowns. Anyway, you got a Gleaner uniform for me? Well, I dare say not even the euphoric thrill of meeting a deadline can measure up to this sublime sense of satisfaction. That uniform becomes you. I hope you'll remember your friends in Labyrinthos whenever you wear it. You know, I think it's past time I tried on something new myself. What better way to cleanse the mind and replenish the spirit? Let me know if you have any suggestions, oh ye impeccable procurement. Speaking of, I'm sure the general populace will soon be clamoring for items gleaned by the hands of generous Brilliant Mason. Since realizing everyone's individual hopes and dreams is too great an endeavor for any one woman, let's narrow our focus to things that everyone can use, preferably for relaxation purposes. We're counting on you, Brilliant. Don't be a stranger. Alright, there's the Gleaner uniform. I'm definitely going to change the color on that, because I'd rather just have the regular one. Actually, I'll probably just use I'll just go buy the Undying dye, and then I'll put it into my glamour dresser.